Okay, now we're back. Sorry about that. My, the Wi-Fi was the Wi-Fi on the computer. The Wi-Fi was being stupid. It was being stupid, and my brother had to fix it. So let's continue on with part one. I hate separating this into two videos.
Really keep them all for yourself. That's not what Nightmare Night is all about, right? I guess you're right, Pinkie Pie,
said Sweetie Belle, looking down sadly at her hooves.
Backing out of our wager already, then?
Asked Diamond Tiara with a snide look on her face.
I guess it would be difficult for you flanks to compete with us if you're going to fall for all this tradition nonsense. Looks like we win by default. We'll expect your candy at the end of Nightmare Night. Don't go throwing too much of it away at the foot of some statue in the woods now. Now hold on,
cried Apple Bloom.
We ain't gonna be throwing away any candy, and we ain't gonna be welching on no fat. You have your candy ready to fork over to us by the end of Nightmare Night, and may the best Billy win.
And it's official.
Hold on, girls.
Tried Pinkie Pie, a little nervous at how serious things had gotten between the young friends.
Who wants to help me decorate the library?
Meanwhile,
Pinkie Pie!
Exclaimed Twilight Sparkle in bafflement.
What are you doing?
A gaggling of fillies and colts had invaded Twilight Sparkle's home and were clambering clumsily over her neatly arranged shelves. She and Spike had worked the better part of the afternoon taking the autumn audit of what books were checked out and what books were checked in, and what books were in need of repair before they could be returned to the shelves. Now, entire stacks of books were slipping, sliding, and plain being knocked over by careless little hooves. And in the middle of it all, Pinkie Pie stood cheerfully, half covered in fake spider webs and streamers.
Oh, hey, Twilight,
said the pink pony, clearly delighted to see her friend. In the background, Snips and Snails tripped over one another in their efforts to hang bat-winged streamers along the stairs leading up to Twilight's room. They landed in a clumsily laughing heap that nearly toppled an entire shelf of books.
I was hoping you'd be home soon,
said Pinkie Pie.
Mayor Mare's having me decorate all the public buildings in Ponyville this year for Nightmare Night. But it wouldn't be half as much fun getting the library ready if I didn't have your input as well.
Pinkie Pie draped a forelimb over Twilight's shoulder and guided her through the barely controlled chaos of laughing and shouting children.
I was thinking bats everywhere, hanging from the ceiling and the stairs, something to really catch every pony's eye when they walk in.
Twilight couldn't help being distracted as fillies ran back and forth, some trailing decorations in their wake, while others just seemed to be playing some kind of game.
But Pinkie, this is my home! We could decorate the library last year inside or out. I know, and I got to thinking that was a real shame. It's unfair that folks can only enjoy the fun of Nightmare Night downtown or in the big shops, and not in other places like boring post offices and libraries.
Twilight glared at her friend.
No offense. I just wanted to make sure that no matter where a pony goes in Ponyville, that the spirit of Nightmare Night will be with them. You know?
Twilight stared into Pinkie Pie's sincere, grinning face. For all the bedlam, it was tough to face that hopeful, well-meaning smile, and not cave just a little. I guess, Pinkie Pie, as the mayor approves. The party pony gave a happy little leap, pounding one hoof in the air before Twilight quickly added, "But please don't go overboard, and do your work quietly. This is still a library, and other ponies have the right to expect peace and quiet when they come here."
pretty
Pinkie
much.
Pie gave a little salute and seemed as though she was about to say something in reply when a loud crash came from the back of the room. With all the close calls, it was a matter of time before an entire shelf of books would be knocked to the floor. Far from any pony being hurt, however, the perpetrators were shouting at one another amid the wreckage of scattered books. Diamond Tiara and Apple Bloom's animated argument threatened to damage the books further as each filly seemed to be stomping mad.
Well, not. Well, so. Well, not. Well, so. Girl!
What's all this about? Cried Twilight, using her magic to separate the fillies.
She started it. She keeps saying we're gonna chicken out, but I don't want to stand for her talking about us that way.
Cried a very agitated Apple Bloom.
Oh, please, Apple Bloom,
sneered Diamond Tiara.
Like there's anything you about it.
Twilight settled the pair back to the floor, but still held them back from each other. Twilight turned to Pinkie Pie as she struggled to keep the fillies from hurting themselves or any pony else.
What in Equestria are they talking about?
She demanded.
Oh, you know how kids are.
Mumbled the pink pony, smiling nervously.
We kind of have a bet going about who can collect the most candy.
Pinkie quickly added to the fillies.
But they're just going to have to collect that much more after they leave some for Nightmare Moon. Right, girls? F.
Replied Silverspoon flippantly, standing with her nose in the air next to her friend.
No way!
Retorted Scootaloo, jumping in the air and fluttering her little wings in irritation.
Leaving a tithe of candy for Nightmare Moon is one of the oldest traditions of Nightmare Night,
said Twilight Sparkle, shocked.
No bet could be worth breaking from tradition like that. I mean, remember last year? It's fun to leave a little candy so Nightmare Moon wouldn't get you. Jeez, listen to her,
said Diamond Tiara dismissively, sharing a glance with Silverspoon.
You think she was just some common pony and not Celestia's student. Did you leave candy for your teacher's sister? Well, no,
admitted Twilight.
However, I did when I was younger. Every Nightmare Night, my brother and I would leave a little pile next to the statue in Canterlot. No, that was just a statue of Luna, not really Nightmare Moon. Celestia didn't seem to like the image of her sister as a monster. I remember when.
Twilight's eyes grew misty with memory, but Silverspoon sighed heavily, interrupting her.
I'm sure you have many wonderful memories of the good old days. But do you really think Luna's going to get any pony that doesn't leave her candy? She didn't get you after all.
She pointed out disdainfully.
Of course not, silly. Twilight isn't a filly.
Laughed Pinkie Pie, trying to defuse the situation. Twilight.
I like this part of the fanfiction. It's basically it's a nice it's
I
the
guess she's right, Pinkie Pie. There's no point in
it's
lying.
it's basically the
With
fanfiction
Luna,
giving us a
maybe
break.
little strange, but
Like it
she's
knows
not
that's the things
dangerous.
are gonna go straight to
Nightmare Night
are gonna
is
go
fun
straight to
pretend,
Tartarus
but
pretty soon. So they're
honestly,
letting us
I don't
play
see
in
any
La
harm
La
from
Land
them not
before
giving up a
before the
bit of their
Candy Mare comes
candy,
back.
Even if it is against tradition. Pinkie Pie seemed genuinely shocked by her friend's words.
Don't listen to her, girls.
Said Pinkie urgently.
We have these traditions for a reason. The decorations, the costumes, the jack-o'-lanterns, the offerings to Nightmare Moon. They were all started to protect us. There's no good reason to turn our back on all of that now. Not so close to Nightmare Night.
The usual jovial pony bleated, deep blue eyes wide with worry. The girls in Twilight gave Pinkie a funny look, not really understanding what all the fuss was about.
Here, I'll show you. I know it's around here somewhere.
Pinkie Pie started rummaging through the fallen books. It always amazed Twilight that regardless of how disorganized the library might become, Pinkie Pie could always turn up just the book she was looking for. She wouldn't normally have suspected it to be something to do with the party pony's Pinkie sense, but the alternative was that Pinkie Pie might have a better grasp of the library's organization than Twilight, Spike, and Owlicious combined. Somehow, that was a more unsettling conclusion than Pinkie's sixth sense. Pinkie Pie cried triumphantly as she lifted an old dark book from one of the piles that were bound for the repair room. It didn't look like much, or even as if it had anything to do with Nightmare Night. Instead of the mare and the moon, a crescent eye, or some other Nightmare Night symbol, there was only a woodcut of a few pieces of candy carved into the cover.
Ye old tricks and treats. Wow, Pinkie, that book looked like it's seen better days.
Twilight examined the book closely. It was hard to tell if it had been damaged in the fall from the shelves or if it had already been in such poor shape.
You should put it back so Spike can fix it before it falls apart.
Twilight's magic enveloped the book, but Pinkie Pie held onto it firmly.
No, seriously, Twilight,
the party pony urged.
You and the girls should really read what this book has to say. There's more to Nightmare Night than just getting as much candy as possible.
Pinkie looked shocked at her own words, but struggled all the harder against the pull of Twilight's magic.
And this is me saying that. You know how much I love sweets. Let's go, Pinkie.
Twilight strained, her magic insufficient to shake off her friend's oddly adamant grasp. By now, Diamond Tiara and Silverspoon had wandered away to make some other pony's life miserable, but the Cutie Mark Crusaders watched the struggle between Twilight and Pinkie Pie go back and forth. All three winced as a loud riff echoed throughout the library.
Yep,
Like
I knew that was gonna happen.
just fluttered through the air. Between the two of them, Twilight and Pinkie managed to break the book's fragile spine, sending its delicate pages in all directions. Both ponies seemed shocked at what had happened. Started Apple Bloom.
We'll just head on now, Pinkie. I've got
Yep.
chores and I need to get going back home.
Yeah, and I promised Rainbow Dash I'd pick up her dry cleaning.
Added Scootaloo as she moved the distracted Sweetie Belle.
Oh, yeah, and I need to make sure that, Rarity's order of new material for her Nightmare Night costume came in.
Managed Sweetie Belle, her eyes glued firmly on the floor. The trio scurried away before what would surely be an explosive argument between the two friends, but Sweetie Belle hung back a moment. Her eyes had lit on a few of the pages that had fallen from the old tattered book. No pony was looking as she discreetly stuffed the pages into her school bag and trotted quickly after her friends.
Oh, wait, that's it? That's it? Okay. Why did this had to be split in 2 parts? I'm gonna write in the description of this, what note to self, Wi-Fi sucks balls. Yeah, so that was Something Sweet to Bite part 1. And I'm definitely and holy crap. I'm just saying, the ending, it was a lot less, it wasn't really that scary, just as the beginning. I mean, the beginning, I guess you saw my face. I was freaking terrified. And to think, this is only part 1. Part 1 of a fanfiction that's gonna last 5 parts. How is this going to turn out? I don't know. I have no idea. But I think I'm probably gonna record part 2 of this fanfiction later on. Because I had to I need to catch my breath before I can even hop into the second part. And I'm sorry that part 1 had to be split into 2 parts. The Wi-Fi sucks balls. But anyway, I'll definitely see you in part 2. So basically, stay tuned. And also, I will do an MLP episode reaction series. It's not like I have to edit these videos at all. Yeah, I don't really have to edit these videos, so yeah, I don't really have to edit any of these videos because, well, yeah. But anyway, I'll definitely see you in part 2, so stay smiling, party on, and peace!